Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to cilinixfxcapital. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video here on Cardano. We're going to do a full analysis here on what's going on with Cardano, what to expect. We'll zoom out a bit, then we'll zoom in on what's going on right now. Because, well, believe it or not, but this Easter Saturday, we actually had quite a lot of volatility, and that's also, well, volatility. We actually had some momentum, but more on that later, which you can also see with Cardano right here. But just wanted to do a full update on the current situation, the different scenarios, based on the fundamentals, external factors, because that is ultimately right now very much what controls and what gives direction for Cardano, right? I mean, Cardano itself, look, it was requested by a lot of you, right? And that's also why I wanted to make this video. But it also tells you a bit of a story about Cardano, is that Cardano, you know, it still has a strong community, and it still has strong values of its own, pretty unique. But ultimately, when we're taking a look at the price action, that's kind of decoupled from the rest. All right, you can see, for example, volume is quite low, by the way, but the 3-day correlation with Bitcoin is 80.5%. All right, that means that Cardano, for 80.5%, just follows Bitcoin completely, which let me tell you, that's quite high, right? So Bitcoin matters for Cardano, but ultimately, so the major direction depends on that as well. Short term, there's some nuances. Now, if we zoom all the way out for Cardano here, first of all, we're at a major support, right? We're at the support level right here, which is also a high volume node. This key level is actually not completely valid anymore. But you can see a high volume node, a high liquidity zone, whatever you want to call it, between 57 and 60 cents. So it actually goes up a little bit higher, but let's take that as the main level. So high time frames, we actually do have a lot of support, and well, it's always difficult to call a bottom, but unless the fundamental situation changes for the worse. I do think this is the bottom, all right, especially here at 786 fib. The next support level would be this level right here at 45 and 50 cents, and I've called for that before. I think the last video I made on Cardano, I said it's most likely will drop down into there. There we also have quite a lot of liquidity, and technically that's also a very strong support level. But since then, the fundamentals have changed slightly for the better. So unless we see any major escalation in the world, geopolitically, I'd say this general support level right here, around 55 and 60 cents, has a good chance to be a bottom. And if the situation does escalate, then we'll drop down lower. But then if you take a look at this situation right here, what you can see is that technically we are actually still trending down, right? And then the difficult part comes in, and that is, well, is Cardano right now strong enough to reclaim, especially this level right here, around 64, 65 cents? There we have a major confluence of resistance levels that if we were able to flip those into support, that would give me enough confidence to say, well, all right, that's the bottom. We can consolidate. Maybe we'll still revisit those bottoms right here, but ultimately this is good price action. And right now it's just too early for me to say that. I think short term we can move into that, but due to this being the weekend and all the momentum that we're seeing right now, being with low volume, I'd have to say that even if we're able to break above that in the next 36 hours, I wouldn't trust it, right? I think it's most likely that we'll reject there. We will revisit the lows, and then from there, I think we have a good chance to eventually break above that. From there, get back into 70 cents, and just in general confirm the bottom, because that is what we want to do, and then we can consolidate, and then from that consolidation, we can eventually rally again, right? So that is the most bullish scenario right here, and what we want to see for Cardano. The main level we'd need to break above for that, in my opinion, would be 65 cents. Do I expect that right now? No. I think that we can get there, and I think we can have a fake out above that. I don't think we'll be able to reclaim that. So ultimately, I think we're going lower, or at least that we will be revisiting the lows right here between 55 and 58 cents. Unless the fundamental situation changes, I do think we'll be able to hold that. From there, I do think we'll be able to get back to 65 cents. And eventually, I also think we'll be able to reclaim that and set up that consolidation. But that might still take some time. All right, so hopefully, like, that's my fully explained thoughts on Cardano. Hopefully that helps, but that's what I think you need to know for now. All right, so thank you for watching. Take care and bye.